Bonjour tout monde and welcome to Musings with Fox. I just wanted to put up a quick video for you guys to talk about my new hair. As you guys can tell, my hair is no longer green and that is a wonderful thing. I wanted to put up a video to talk about my new hair color and also why I have a new hair color, aside from the fact that once you get into fantasy hair, you just tend to get bored. So let's dive into this color. So I'm trying to figure out how to turn my head to show you the most things. So what we have going on here is a multitude of colors. So this in here is mostly Cleopatra. Juicier bits like this are a mix of Pravana's rose gold and rose quartz. And then the purpley streaks are a combination of Pulp Riot's Nevermore, some drops of Nightfall, and Lilac. So yeah, and then some of my natural, and then some of the blonde bleached hair left in to just give it a more naturalistic effect. So yeah, I am really happy with this. I chose to do this instead of going back to my hot pink that I love because the way I love my hot pink hair is with the most amount of hair possible. I love to take the brunette down around my chin and then just let everything else be hot pink, and because my hair is short, I just didn't want to be disappointed with how little pink I had. I'm also trying to let my hair grow out. I really want to have healthy hair again, and so to put on this demi-permanent kind of protects the hair that is newly grown and fresh, and I don't need to bleach it because I give this extra long shadow root. The dark is a demi-permanent from Kenmo, I believe. We've been doing it for about 5 or 6 years. It's just a formula that as soon as whatever color I want to do, my stylist knows. It's a very deep, rich espresso. It's what I wish my natural hair color actually was. So every time I do any sort of color melt, any fancy hair, the roots or the big chunk of it is always going to be this demi-permanent from Kenmo. I'm really ecstatic to have pink hair again. Pink hair for me is really comfortable. It feels to me, like I said, naturalistic. I love it. It's when I feel my prettiest. And that's kind of what you discover when you go through multiple fantasy hair colors. You'll find the realm that makes you feel your best. And that's a different hair color for everyone. For me, it's being back in the pinks. Obviously, my hot pink hair is the one that makes me feel my absolute best, but I love playing with rose gold. I did this about 2 years ago. I think this is kind of like the color I had when I started my channel, but it's a lot duskier. We called my first rose gold hair a Victorian garden, and this is more a Victorian garden at dusk. I really wanted some smoky tones, some dusky tones, and I feel like I have that, but in real life the Pravana rose quartz and rose gold is very juicy. I keep calling it pastel burgundy because it's very deep for a light hair color. It's very juicy. It looks like it has a lot of pigment, but so it's a very bit of a contrast with the usual rose gold hair. So I'm so happy, and the more I look at it, the more I fall in love with it, and that's how I know that it's right. Why did I go pink after being in the greens and teals for quite some time? Besides needing a change, I did it because green hair was really hard. It was quite the adventure in figuring out who I am, if my hair is me or if I'm more than my hair, and just what it is to have hair that gets a lot of negative feedback constantly. You guys were always sweet about my green hair. I never heard a single "oh my god, please don't" about the green hair. You guys also loved when I had the teal base with the pink and purpley ends. So I never felt like from you guys that I got negative feedback. I've always had lovely compliments, but in real life it was not received well. I don't think hair has to be received well to be something you love, but when it's something that you're trying out and it wasn't like your dream hair, it was just like, hey, let's have fun, and you get such constant negative feedback, It's really hard. Even the most confident, positive person will feel really attacked for just the most ridiculous thing to attack somebody on. For all the progress we've made in society, it is still a really rebellious act for a woman to have non-traditionally feminine colored hair, going in the blues and the teals and the greens and even kind of like yellows. Anything that draws your attention and isn't like immediately aesthetically pleasing is a big trigger for a lot of people out in public. I felt I got a lot more side eyes, and not necessarily because I had fun hair, but people I think were trying to figure out if it was a wig, if it was real, why the hell it would be real. It actually caused tension at my job, which is ridiculous. There is a completely open to hair color policy. I had grown adults who could not keep their opinions to themselves about how much they did not like my green hair. It was absurd that grown women were so triggered by green hair that they wanted to make fun of me for it. They really wanted to constantly tease me and berate me for having St. Patrick's Day hair from, I think this started like, when did I dye that hair? From August through March, non-stop St. Patrick's Day comments. Just every single person thought they were the first person to be like, ready for St. Patrick's Day? Are you ready for St. Patrick's Day? Are you keeping it for St. Patrick's Day? You know, you're a little early for St. Patrick's Day. Every day. The grocery store, I had 2 old women do it to me within the space of 5 feet. It's intense. I had another coworker who every single day would say, it ain't easy being green. Every day. I don't know if he had like a short-term memory issue and he just couldn't remember that he'd said it every day for 7 months, but he certainly did it, and it was just an onslaught. Constant onslaught. And I wasn't prepared for that. I'd never had that with any of my other colors. And then my stylist did it. She's like, this is, you know, this is going to be a controversial color. This is going to be really in your face. Green hair makes heads turn, and people don't always like when you've turned their head. It's not always a good thing to catch someone's attention. And I never wore my green hair that I was uncomfortable. There were many times I would be out in public and people were giving me weird looks, and I would just forget that it could possibly be about my hair. When you're plus size, you're so used to people just staring at you because you're fat that I didn't think, oh, it could be anything other than the fact that I'm fat. But it was other fat people doing it to me too, and it was just the green hair. People don't like when you call attention to yourself, which is ridiculous. And that definitely, that part of it being turning heads wasn't why I changed it, but I was so tired of the fact that it felt like an open invitation for people to make fun of me, to tell me what other hair color I should have instead of what I have. And I don't mind when you guys, when I'm talking about how I'm going to try a new color, suggest colors to me, because I don't think you're instructing me what to do. But when people come up to you, they haven't said hello to you, they haven't said how's your day, it's just someone coming to you and go like, your hair should be purple. It's like, no, my hair should be whatever color I want it to be. But after 7 months, it just wore on me. And also, green is a really hard color to wear with other colors. I felt like my wardrobe choices got really limited. I felt like I lived in black and greens and some burgundies, and that was it. And one of my favorite colors in the world to wear is light pink. And light pink looks terrible with the green that I had. It was so jarring and bad, and it just kind of spiraled me into this thing, like I was just losing myself. I wasn't getting to do everything I wanted. I felt pigeonholed by a hair color, and I hated that. It was a hair color I picked up to have a whim, to have some fun. I picked it up because green was the color of my cat's eyes, and I missed having some beautiful lime green in my life. And to just have so much negative feedback, to feel like I was losing myself, to feel like I couldn't express myself with makeup and clothes the way I had in the past with other hair colors, it was an overwhelming flood of negative from so many aspects of my life that I had never considered before. Even when I had the teal with the purple, I could still wear pinks. I didn't feel like I couldn't wear things, and I so felt like I really couldn't with green. And so I got into a crisis, and just like, you know, when you're someone who's already dealing with mental health issues, having your physical expression of yourself not feel like it matches you it's the worst. You're completely unrooted. When your brain is fighting against you and your anxiety is up and then you can't find solace anywhere within your physical body, it's a nightmare. And so it was just kind of like, it's time to go. It's time to let the green go. So I kind of want to talk about how to transition from green. So for me, I didn't have to bleach my hair to get the green out. The green I had before I went in was a 1.5-month fade out of Pulp Riot Area 51 and Pulp Riot's Absinthe. And those are the last colors I had used to refresh back in late January, maybe mid-February. And so I stayed in the Pulp Riot family. This allowed my stylist to use Pulp Riot's color remover, which is not a bleach, but it is an ammonia-based color remover, to get my color out. Before I went in, she had warned me, green is one of the most difficult colors to get out of your hair. It almost always comes out as a mint stain on your hair. I was extremely fortunate that the color remover pretty much took out 98% of my green. I had a little bit of green staining around where like the teal had been, so kind of in the transition of this, but that got covered with the brunette, so it wasn't really a bit of an issue. But all of this hair underneath went down to platinum, the platinum that we had bleached it to go neon. So when you go neons, you have to take your hair down to level 9 or 10 to get that neonness. And so I was left with a beautiful blank canvas. But my stylist had stressed and ground into me the fact that I may not be able to get that. So if you are coming from a color like that and you want to go into the pastels, you really have to be prepared for having to go into darker colors or brighter colors and not getting to do pastel unless you are at a 9 or a 10. That was going to be really upsetting for me because I really wanted this hair and not a darker hair. I wanted that contrast of the dark root and the lighter hair, and so I was very fortunate that the color completely came out. My stylist was a little sad that I didn't want to go blonde, but my best friend recently has gone blonde and she is an epic beautiful blonde, and I was like, I'm not trying to look like a less good version of my friend. That's just that's not happening, because we also share the same stylist. So I told her, if you wanted me to go blonde, you shouldn't have made my bestie look so damn good. So because of how beautiful that blonde was, I didn't want to cover all of it completely, so we have left bits in to just add dimension. I didn't want also another color melt. A color melt is when you have that gradient. It's kind of like an ombre but better. There's not as like delineated a line. It's a lot harder. You have to really rub in between the colors, and I didn't want a color melt because it just felt like I looked like a rock formation after a while, and I wanted something that was more streaky. I told her, I was like, I know I won't be able to upkeep it myself, and that's kind of part of the fun. I just want hair that, you know, is truly artistic and fun, and then we'll see what happens as it fades out. Maybe I will go back to her and have her try something new with how it fades out. Maybe I'll just slather it all in Cleopatra and we'll see what that looks like. So this is definitely the most unupkeepable hair I have ever had, and I am so excited for it. It's nice to have something where I don't know what it's gonna look like, but it's in the color family where I just feel so comfortable. I really feel beautiful in it. I know that's like, it's an arrogant thing to say, but it makes me feel so beautiful. When I was in my crisis of like, I have this green hair and I loved it because it lets me feel gothy, but my feminine side feels like it's really been hidden. Margot Meany, who is a fantastic alternative plus size babe, you guys should all follow her as well. A lot of goth babes have a hard time feeling their traditional feminine, girly, frilly, pastel self, and she posted this great idea of, you know, Persephone, the Greek goddess Persephone, can be the queen of the underworld and she can be the goddess of spring, and so you can have two halves of the same person. And so right now I am just in my Persephone goddess of spring, and it feels so good. It feels so good to be home. It feels so good to be comfortable. I can wear all the colors in makeup and in clothes that I want to. I don't feel like there's anything I can't wear, and it feels good to be home. So I hope you guys are enjoying this color change because it's gonna be around for a while. I'm gonna keep it till my hair grows nice and long again, so this will definitely be my color, well, whatever the fade out turns out to be and whatever I can refresh it to be, probably in through the fall. So get used to it because it's not going anywhere. Let me know if you have ever struggled with a hair color adventure, what hair color makes you feel most yourself, and what hair color really doesn't. Whatever your hair color, I hope it's the one that makes you the most happy. I'll see you next time. Bye!